Okay, so we'll continue from where we left yesterday. So I was trying to get Firefox and it says Firefox instance is already running. So I'll check for Firefox. It's running. I'll gonna kill it. So I have one instance already running. So that's why Firefox is not coming. Okay, so it must have been gone now. Right, let me trigger Firefox again.
మొత్తం వాళ్ళ చూడ ప్రతిసారి ఏదో సారీ దేవ్
No problem. Yeah.
దట్ ఈస్ సెట్టింగ్స్
Okay, so we were discussing about logging and there are a few things pending. So let's continue with that. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about general logs of managed server, HTTP logs, data sources logs, which appears and how to set the rotation type for them based on size or based on file. Also limiting the number of files in our system so that no more than those file appears on our system. Today we'll be checking on this filtering. So how to do filtering on our logs. So before that, let's see our logs. How does the logs look like? So we'll go to domain home. So let's check for one of the logs. Now you see that in our logs, we have various kinds of logs appearing. For example, we have this info, which says it connected to some thread and all those things. So it's just the info and this info is being populated all the time. So if you see that we have these info lines appearing. Info, we have these debugs lines enabled. And let's see if we have warnings as well. So basically info is appearing, quite number of times and your logs fills up due to that. So these filterings can be done at advanced logging. So I have trace enabled. So there is a trace, there is a info, there was a debug, there is a debug as well. So in case it would have generated some warning, there should be a warning as well. Let's search for it. Okay, so there is no warning on the system on this one so far. No, yeah, so there is an error as for MDS configuration. So we see the error. Okay, so there is no warning, but we saw error, we saw info, we saw debug, we saw trace. So how do we decide it? If we go here, we'll have 4 parameters available for our managed servers for logs. So this is about formatting. So if you want your format to be changed, this can be changed here. Let me click on log and edit so that I can show you. Okay, so these are the logs using which you can control your filtering. So like you see minimum severity to log. So it has been set to info. So that's the reason you're seeing quite all info being repeated. If you want to change it, you can change it to warning so that your logging will decrease. So you don't want info because it's like shows you everything your system does. So it shows you, work manager being populated, what work manager does. So all those things, everything it is showing you. So those things, if you disable here, if I'll set it to warning, and then within a log file, severity level is set to trace. So I'm seeing this trace as well. If I'll set it to warning, because warning is only generated if there is some problem with your system. So I'm making sure that my system doesn't shows all those things. Let me check if notice is also there. Notice. Okay, there is no notice as of now. And this one, maybe I can set it to critical. So what I've done is, right now I've set the minimum severity log to warning, so that I'm trying to reduce the number of logs being appearing on my system. And then in message destination, I have put 3 filtering. So I've made log level severity level to warning. If you want, you can also change the log file buffer size here. Standard output, I am changing it to critical. And domain log broadcaster. Like yesterday we saw, we had a domain log broadcaster, we had a standard output and log file. So these filtering I'm putting in place. So I'm making it critical to standard output and severity level. And then saving it. Let me activate changes. And then I'll start one of the servers. Okay, so my node manager may be down. Let's see. Okay, so node manager is inactive. Okay, it's not running at all. Before I start, let me check if my IP and everything is right at node manager level. I'll go for node manager.properties file just to revalidate. Okay, I need to correct this. The reason being my IP has changed. Okay, and let me start it now.
I mean, sir, you recently changed the IPs of the server.
Yeah, so what happened is I have not saved my servers. So I think on Monday when we started it was 104, and after that I forgot to close my machine with saving the state, and then the network changed, and due to this network change the IP got changed. So if you want to keep the same IP, what you do is whenever work is done, just close it. While doing that, save the machine state and do okay, so that you'll have the same IP. So I didn't do it, and then that IP was gone.
Okay. And actually, I was trying. I after installed Exmo button. Means in my machine IP is not set. Okay, only IP6 is set. Later I search Google and all. I set IP4. After again I shut down machine again. IP4 gone. It's showing only IP6. Any to make it permanent? Anything? Any we need to do?
So you have enabled. Okay, so can you show me your system so that I'll check it for you?
Okay. Okay. I will show you.
Because maybe it is not connected to your network, and that's the reason it is showing you that. Okay, so meanwhile
Okay.
it's
You.
reachable. Let me start it. When you're ready, Rakesh, tell me. I'll look for it. So I'm starting my managed
Okay.
server, and let's go to the logs now. Okay, so it's failed because of some database exception. Let me check if my database is running. Okay, it does shows it running. Okay, so there must be something wrong at JDBC level. Let's see. I think I got corrected it. Okay, so I will have to update this. Okay, let's start it. So it's gonna take a while. Okay, so it has started the first one. Let's start another one as well. Or let me do a complete bounce first so that those changes gets reflected. So I'll shut down my managed server. Okay. And then stop admin as well. Before that, 1 second, let me do this. Deployments, control. So what I'm going to do is, right now it is pointing only to admin server, to managed servers. So I'm going to change this targeting even for admin server. So I'll go here, change targets and include admin server as well. Okay, that's being done. Activate changes. Okay, so it's done finally. So now it is pointing to admin server and both managed servers. Let's shut down and do the startup. So server has gone down. Let's revalidate from here. Right, so although it is down, but it will take some time for everything to go from here. So until it is gone, I should not start my admin server. The reason being it may not come up properly or it may complain for port conflict. Okay, still few instance which is visible on this port. Okay, others are gone, just one more. It's still listening on IPv6 address. So once that goes, we are good to start. Okay, so it's gone from here now. Let's go back and start to bin folder and start it. So now you guys are ready with your environment. So environment is created and you have set up your managed server, admin server, everything.
I'm waiting for videos only. It's still not uploaded, right? So
I have uploaded. So that's what I was showing to Mohan before you joined. So that upload is in progress. I think few got uploaded already. And then yeah, these, okay. So still few pending. Once those got uploaded, I'll send you an invite. And during the session itself, we'll see that you guys should be able to access it.
Okay.
But you have done the installation, Linux installation, and now you can see Linux desktop, and you have proceeded with your WebLogic installation as well, right?
Uh, from my side, I installed Linux and it installed Putty and X means Movatarn, okay, and downloaded softwares.
Okay,
I
so
need to install
you have
WebLogic.
not
I need to
proceeded with
start
the installation
that
so far.
installation. No, still, I mean, I didn't have the steps right. What to be followed, so
Okay.
I couldn't able to do that.
Okay, no problem. So most probably you would be
Like the
able to do it.
Java, you use it to write Java.
Can I
Of
ask?
course, once I got the video using that, I can install.
Okay. Anyways, you'll get the video by today itself, and you should be able to proceed then.
Of course, yeah. And as I told, so Saturday, Sunday, I won't be available because I told that I'm
You're
traveling.
traveling.
Yes, yes. This weekend only.
Okay. Okay, no issues. Right, so we are, this should be back now. Let's log in and see. So I'll go into servers, and I'm going to start both of them. Okay, they're starting. Let's go and check out. Let me check for this one. Okay, sorry, not for this one. I'll go for the first one. You're ready, Rakesh? Can we see your screen? So, like you're saying, you're seeing this IP6 address.
Okay. So you can make my you can what is it? Can you make
I'll make,
presenter?
yeah, I'll make you presenter.
Me as a presenter.
Okay, what's happening? Something tricky. It's not showing me the attendees. Okay, it shows. Okay,
Let me know if you can see that my screen. Okay.
yeah. So I've given you the presenter role now.
Okay.
I see you have joined 2 times. Let me make presenter the
No, you
other
can.
one. You've accepted it?
So you can see the screen, right?
Not yet. Yeah, it's visible now.
See, actually it is IP address IP6 is set. Okay.
Okay.
I checked Google how to check how to means what is it? That IP4 I means IP4 address, and this was the command it was given, and I entered all these. Okay, and connected via Xmo button. Later I shut down the I shut down the my Linux system. Later it again it what is that? Whatever changes I did it means it didn't reflect after I reboot.
Okay.
So I think again I need to reset, like again I need to reset this enter this command, and again I need to start work via my button. Yeah, like this. Otherwise it doesn't connect. It will show a timeout error.
Okay. So go to your virtual box.
So to make this
Go to your virtual box. Let's see.
okay,
Okay. Scroll above. Scroll so that I can see your top screen.
is that
Okay.
okay?
So you see that on the top bar there is
Are you able to see now?
there is a computer there. Click on that where you are seeing the date Wednesday. No, not there. At the top. Not there. Not there.
Beside speakers,
The top one where
beside
you can
sound.
see application
Okay,
access.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So go to that
So
computer one. There is a sample computer on the
Beside
right
the
date
side.
time,
computer.
you have
Go to
left
your right
to
side.
date and time.
Rakesh, go to your right. Complete right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
this one.
so that computer. No network connection. It shows. No. Click on that and choose system Ethernet 0.
Okay, yeah. I clicked on. This is what I got.
Yeah. Choose this one and let it get connected. Okay. Type ifconfig now.
Okay.
So that's fine. That's connected now. In your command prompt, type ifconfig. Okay,
Okay,
you
it's
see the address
okay.
now?
Okay, I got some IP address.
So that's your IP. Now you can go to putty
Yes,
and
yes,
try
I can see
connecting
the
it.
address
Go
here.
to putty or mobile XM, yeah. So you have to connect to Fi.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, then fine.
Okay, so that's the thing. So
Yes,
next
thank you.
time if you see anything like that, just go and check for your network. If it is not connected, just connect it to system Ethernet 0 and then you will get some IP. And when you
Okay.
close
Okay,
this, when
fine.
you shut down
So
the
every
system,
time it will generate its own IP, right? It's, now it's 5, right? Again after.
yeah, so it is like, because these are dynamic IPs, DHCP
Sorry,
network.
you want to close?
And if you want to close it, I'm just saying, if you want to close,
Okay.
while closing,
Okay.
you do save the machine state. So that next time when you start, you get the same IP.
Okay. From here, from Mobot.
Just click on close there. No, go to your virtual box.
Okay. Save from Mobaterm or any
No,
Linux.
no, I'll tell you. Go to virtual box. So you see a cross at the top.
Yeah, this is what, right?
Click on that cross, like closing this window itself, your VM. So this cross, yeah, right. No, the other one,
This one. Close
outside,
it.
outside one. This is just for terminal. Go the outside one. Exit out of this.
Okay.
Yeah, and there is this cross window at the top. Go for that one.
Metaphor see.
Yeah. So
Top right corner.
yeah, top right corner. This one only. On you are on this window. So you just click on minimize. Right next to that there is
Web.
a cross. Yeah, this one. Do that. Click on that. Yeah, you see
Okay, save
this.
mission. Okay.
So you see save the machine state.
So I had to save it, right?
You can try it. Do okay.
Yes. Okay.
So you can either close it, you can shut it
Yes, I
down.
did.
If
Okay.
you shut it down, next time you start, it will give you a new IP.
Again, I need to restart.
Yeah, restart it again. So you have saved the machine. It is saved completely, right? Yeah, it is saved. So start it.
Okay. Earlier, I worked on VMware, so there was nothing like all this.
Okay, maybe it's
VMware
it's
best, I
not
think,
a big
compared to this.
difference, okay, between VMware and VirtualBox. It's just maybe some options here and there. Otherwise, in terms of virtualization, concept is same. VMware also provides you the similar facility. This also provides you a similar facility. Only depending upon vendor, that is from VMware company. This is from Oracle. So there are few changes and options where to go for what. And maybe in terms of simplification, one may be better, other may have some other options available. So that's the only change. But for you, task is once your machine is created, then it is like same as any other machine. You can run anything you want. Okay, so once this restores, you will get your IP. Okay, so you
Yeah.
can check for it. Give it some time. It
Okay,
may.
I will check that. Okay.
Okay, so I'll take back the control.
Okay, no issue. Yeah.
Okay, so this was basic about logging, where you can change your options and you can do the filtering setups and all if required. Sometimes your organization can give you the list of filtering they want to set, or they may leave it to you. So if you want, you can set it up. Okay, so quickly today what we'll do is, because tomorrow I'm planning that we'll go for this clustering. So let's just create a cluster now to cluster these two managed servers. So I have two managed servers running currently, FMWMS1 and FMWMS2. They are running status. Let me go and create a cluster for it. So this cluster we can create when we are configuring our domain. It can be created at that time, and also we can do it from front end, which is our console. So I'll click on lock and edit. I'll give it a name, let's say CL1 or FMW_CL1. This I'll explain you later. So right now I'm keeping it to unicast. Okay, so I can see a cluster being created and it has taken default. So cluster messaging mode, it says, is unicast. Migration is based on database and load algorithm is round robin. Let me click on activate changes first. And you also see this message being here, cluster created successfully, and there was JRF support being enabled for this. So if you go for generic WebLogic install and if you create a cluster there, you will not see JRF message, but if you are in Fusion Middleware product and if you create a cluster, that JRF message will appear. Okay, so let me go to my cluster and see what I have. So right now cluster is created and we can see for algorithms available here. So if I say by default it assigns round robin, I can also change it to weight based or random or round robin affinity, weight based affinity or random affinity. So these are the possible algorithms which I can use for my cluster. So these are load algorithms. Based on this cluster decides how it will send requests to your managed servers. So depending upon the kind of algorithm you use, managed server will serve the request and request will go to them based on this fashion. Cluster address, if you want, you can specify the cluster address. If you don't do, your system by default it specifies address on its own and it makes it enable. For right now I'll just include the servers because cluster is being created but we don't have any servers as of now. So let me show you. So all the cluster is created. If I'll go to servers, if I'll go to server, although there is a column called cluster, but I don't see anything there because these managed servers are still not part of your cluster. So similar to the way like we had this node manager, but until you add servers to your node manager, you will not see these node managers appearing here. So similarly right now cluster is created, but I have not assigned any servers. So I'll be assigning servers to cluster now. So this is my cluster. Okay. And let me assign servers to my cluster. Add, and then I'll add these members to cluster. Okay, so servers are running because when cluster starts, it has to do synchronization between servers being running as a part of cluster. So I'll have to stop this. I cannot add these servers until these are shut down. Okay, so shutdown in progress. It should be faster. Okay, so servers are shut down. Let me go back to cluster again. Servers. And then let me add servers to this. See message at the top, it says server created successfully. So I have the server 1 is added. Okay, and this is managed services 2. So I've added both, and now this should be appearing in the cluster. Let's see. Now cluster should appear for these servers. So now my managed server 1 and 2, I can see they are being assigned to cluster. Admin, I don't need to be in the cluster because admin, request never goes to admin for processing. So my application I'll not deploy in admin, and it should always be kept intact. So as I can see, cluster is visible in my managed servers. I'll click on activate changes so that this change become permanent. Yes. Now let me start these managed servers, and this time when these managed server will start, there will be a message for cluster saying that it is trying to synchronize it. Okay, I'm in admin log. So before it
You are
starts,
saying that there is no cluster for admin server, right?
no, so what I'm saying is we should not assign admin to be part of a cluster. The reason being, cluster is something we use for high availability and scalability. So admin server, we never deploy our application. So admin server, the sole purpose of admin server is to control your resources. So you control your managed servers, your domain resources through admin server. And we don't deploy our application into admin server. Only in case of development, yes, development guys, they do that because they don't create managed servers, they don't do this load testing and all. So they create admin server, they deploy everything on admin server. But in case we have admin server and list of managed server, applications should always be deployed to managed servers. And those managed servers, when it is being deployed, they should be part of cluster. If you make admin also part of cluster, what happens? You will deploy your application which goes into your managed server as well as your admin server. Now when someone hits a URL, that request will go to your managed server as well as to admin server, because admin server is also part of your cluster. So you should keep admin server always outside your cluster. So your admin server should be independent. It should never be part of your cluster. So that is what I said. So like when we have set up this cluster, at that time your admin server should not be part of any cluster. Only managed server should be put in a clustering. So you always cluster your managed server, not the admin. Is it clear now, Rakesh?
Okay.
So main thing is
Yeah,
admin.
isn't it sometimes any outage is no,
Okay.
but still anything outage is required. Means assume the assume that. So where is high availability? Means cluster means providing high availability, right? So
Yeah, so
that's what
right
I
now
understand.
what we are doing is we just have one machine which is 192.168.0.102. So this is the only machine where both our managed servers are running. Okay. So now this, in terms of this, right now there is just one box. So if we are putting in cluster and we are deploying an application on this cluster, and let's say one of the managed server goes down, the other one will be available. So your application still will be available. Okay. Now when you talk about further high availability, so this comes as a part of vertical cluster. So tomorrow when in session when we'll discuss about cluster, at that time we'll see horizontal and vertical clustering. So this is a piece of vertical cluster where you are trying to provide high
Okay.
availability within the same machine. Okay. Now when you want to achieve more, that time we should have another server. So that means there is one Linux host on this, and then we can create one more which will be, let's say, 192.168.0.103. So we'll have two servers in this case now, and managed servers will be across, and we can also make admin server also across just as a backup, in active passive mode. So at that time, if one of the boxes goes down, still our application will be available. So I think that is what you're trying to say. Managed server is fine, but admin server, if it goes down, this box goes down, then you will not have another admin server, right?
Yes, 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 you are right.
Yes. So for that, which comes at a path of horizontal clustering. So within a same machine, when we do create a cluster, that is known as vertical clustering. And when we create our cluster across different Linux host or across different Unix host, that becomes our horizontal clustering, and that is required for more scalability and more high availability, because we have different hosts running on different machines. So let's say something happens to your machine and it goes down, you still have your managed servers, your applications running from the other host. So for that, we'll have to create one more machine,
Yes.
and you guys actually can try that as well. So create another machine, a duplicate one. I will also clone one more so that we have more machines, and then we'll look for vertical clustering as well. Because the reason being, in the same machine, it's quite easier
Okay.
to do a clustering.
Of course, I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So in the same machine, it's very easy to do a clustering. You just have to set up a cluster, and everything is done by a cluster on its own.
Yeah.
But when you do across, then the actual clustering things comes into picture, because you have to make sure your managed server talks to admin server and connectivity is proper and all those things. Network stuff as well. So once I was showing you the message,
Okay.
let me see if it has come up. It's generating quite number of logs. Unable to look up. Okay, that is for starting. Okay, let's say server has started or not. Okay, both are running. So let me see. I missed it somewhere. Okay, let me do one thing in the meanwhile. Right now I see all logs from 19 onwards. So let me do a change here for logging so that I see different log for each time I start a server. Rotate log on startup. Okay. So I'm changing it to rotate log on startup so that every time I start my servers, I should be able to see it. Activate changes. Okay, that's being done. Let me bring them down. Okay, so server is shut down, and there is one file being created with this. Let's see what it says. Okay, and let me start the server now. So date today is okay. So my date shows as April 20, and these both are right. So let me start it. So I'm starting my servers now. New log should be available. Okay, so as soon as I started my server, the previous one which was generated here on April 20, the reason being I've saved my machine, so it shows me date as April 20, and this log is being taken as a backup, and during startup I got a new log, so I can check for these. So I've changed my logging parameters to make sure the logs are not
For
being
every startup,
yeah, please tell me, Rakesh.
no, for every startup means data will get created and
Yes, so
old
now
data get backed up.
yes, so now I
You
have
mean to
changed
say?
it. I have changed the logging configuration for these managed servers. So what I did is, because all the time whenever I was starting server, it was showing everything on the same file which was created earlier. Okay, because my rotation type was set based on size, so it was waiting for this size to come and then it will rotate. So instead of that, what I wanted to
Okay.
start logging messages when I start server. So whenever I start it, it should generate a new log so that I know that this logging, if I've done a change in my system, and that logging should appear on the new file. So I've clicked on rotate log startup. So now onwards, whenever I'll start my machine again, my net server again,
Okay,
it will
understood.
give
Yeah.
me a new log and taking a backup of the older one. Okay. So like in this
Okay, okay,
case,
understood. Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
like in this case, I showed you first that this file was there, dot out, and when I created this one, then a new file is generated and old one was taken as a backup. Same thing you can see for this log. Now log even has come with the date as 20.
Log out.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So it's I'm just rotating the log at a startup instead of on size.
Okay.
So there is an exception coming in for one of the JDBC MDS JDBC. So that is something, it's good that we'll get a chance to correct it. It says unable to load MDS configuration document. Okay, so it says it's running. Let's see. Nothing here. Okay, so I don't see a running here right now. Let me do one more change because I've changed the logging mechanism for this one and change it back to what it was earlier. So I'm changing it to info. Trace. I'm just doing it for one of the servers. Activate changes. And then starting only the first one. Starting it again. We'll see that logs being rotated again. So there is this one log for previous startup. There is another backup for this startup. Okay, so let's wait for it to come. So this time we see more number of logs being generated. The reason being I've changed it back to info. So it is giving me all the details based on changes in the logs. Okay, so I do see running. Let me go back. So I'll show you something. Okay, so this is my new log. If I'll do a grep for running, I do see after changing the logging mechanism, running appears on my machine. But if I'll go for a previous log, which was before this startup, you won't be seeing any running. So although your system runs, your server starts, but based on the logging mechanism, the kind of logging filtering you have done, you can decide what should appear on your logs and what should not. Even if you can see in terms of size, let's compare these two files. So the size is 638926 for the previous log, and for this one it is more. So the reason being, we have enabled few extra options. So like in logging, if we went, I've changed it back to info. So I've changed it back to info to the severity log, and even I changed the log file severity level to trace, and standard output also I've set it to info. So after changing this, running started appearing, and when I change it, if I'll change it back to something like critical and all, only critical messages will be logged in, and these information, running informations, which is like not required, because once our server is up, we know that it's running fine. So these settings, log settings, which we do based on that, those changes appear in the system. So this is one change. If we check for running on the previous log, it was not appearing, but on the latest one, after changing the log to info back again, this message starts appearing on this one. Okay, so what I will ask you guys for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be discussing on clustering. So once clustering is done, after that probably we'll be discuss on deployments, and then maybe JDBC. So for future sessions. So clustering is what we'll take up for tomorrow, and tomorrow maybe we'll be discuss about vertical clustering, starting with the introduction and then vertical clustering, and then we need to have another server created, and that server will set up a horizontal clustering, followed by a web server being installed, and then those web servers should be able to proxy the request to your managed servers. So this is what we'll be doing in next few days. So putting in our web server, creating a clustering, and then those clustering will integrate it with web server, and then requests should be proxying to those. Okay, so in the meantime, at least I want you guys to be ready with your environment at least. Okay, I think my videos are also uploaded, so I am good to share it with you. I should share, let me share the folder instead. Get shared link. Okay, that is enough. Okay, I think I should be able to see your IDs here.
City, yeah, yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so I'm sending it now. Please confirm
Yes,
if you
yes,
can
right.
see what's gone wrong. Maybe
Mine
that's
is
a
Gmail.
semicolon or something.
Mine is gmail.com. You just give mail.
Okay, okay, maybe that's right. So tmohanvamsi@gmail.com. Okay, and rocky.cta should be good. Okay, can you quickly check your mail and confirm that you have got the link and you can download, you can see the videos now? I'm not sure, but it may ask you to create probably register yourself, maybe, or maybe it is just a link.
For me, it's working fine.
So you can access the videos now.
Yes, I can access the video.
Okay, great. Mohan, what about you?
I'm
I'm
able
not
to
able to.
download that.
You're not able to download?
No, I am. I mean, it's downloading for me.
Okay, okay. So it's working for both of you, right?
Yeah.
Great, great. So okay, so tomorrow
Yes, yes.
session we will keep it for clustering. Okay, we'll set up clusters, and for the future sessions we'll be discussing on clustering, web server setup, and then integration of OHS to WebLogic, and how requests will be proxying from OHS to web server to our managed servers. So this will be going on for future sessions. So we'll see how long it takes to cover it. So before that, I would want you guys to be at least ready with the environment, so that when we go with OHS setup and integration, you guys should be able to follow. Okay, because that's one tricky thing. If you set up a cluster and if you'll not be able to set your OHS, then you won't be able to test it. So that is a must. Okay, so I think Rakesh should be able to follow it now, because I think he literally fought with Anwar for this. Now this video should be with him. Congrats, Rakesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Thank you, thank you.
we'll wrap up the session for today.
Okay.
Also
Sure.
one thing, because Rakesh,
Okay.
you said he's traveling on Saturday, and you will be busy on Saturday and Sunday both, Rakesh.
Yes, 2 days I won't be able to. I won't be available. Yeah.
Okay, so we can do one thing. So again, same thing. If we have a session on
Hello.
Saturday, we'll record a video, and then that recorded video will upload it here. Okay, and that can be shared with you. That's fine.
Yes, that is also fine. No issue. Yeah.
Okay, and anyways, we can review it when you come back on other session. We can quickly go through what was done, and in case any issues or any questions you have, we will be able to answer that. Okay.
Okay, you just upload on Saturday. So send me the link. I'll check it on Sunday. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'll do is,
Sunday
going
whenever I
forward,
get time.
because this is for the first time, so I have shared the whole folder itself. And going forward, I don't need to share the folder, because you already will have list of videos with you. So I'll share it for that particular day. So when I upload it, I'll just share that particular day's video on everyday basis, right? So that you guys will get a video link every day, so that you can download and see. Okay.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Great day, guys. Have a great time and enjoy. And just remember that
So
in
you
case
too.
you
Take
guys
care.
find any issues in
Okay.
terms of
Bye.
WebLogic, even in case of your working, you can let me know. I can help you out in that as well. Okay, so you can let me know in that as well. Okay, I'll
Okay. Okay.
stop
Of
this
course.
Sure.
recording now.